Hello everyone and welcome to the ScratchRunning Podcast, the official podcast of competitive browser gaming, where our motto is, like a cat, but more powerful. As always, I'm your host Kieran, and with me on the mic are HmYesQuite, Apfellord, and Jocers from Scratch. Hi.
Hello.
I swear I never want to laugh at these at the start, but you never tell them beforehand, and I always...
You've gotta laugh, they're great.
I am sorry, like every time I think about, should I edit these out, should I not?
No.
Here I am.
This is a recurring joke now. Anyway, guys, welcome everyone to episode 18 of the only podcast on Scratch.
Yes, the only one.
The memes just write themselves at this point. We could just make a whole episode out of like SRCast tropes and like things we say every time.
My.
Okay, how many can we count? Okay, we have my.
We have
we have
see the
next
community
time.
Manager.
Shout out Air Claws.
Shout out Air Claws.
Yeah.
We have Monster World.
We have Monster World. There we are.
Hey,
1 minute
said
in. Stop your timers now, boys. We have I don't know. At this point,
We have Wimmers.
Wimmers. Oh, by the way, since I hope we're still in segment 1. Mode Wimmers, everybody. Mode Wimmers.
Yes, wimmers, please.
Yeah.
While you can.
Wimmers,
but
is
only on
short for-
segment 1.
Feed my hubris by referencing my game.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Fringe of Forces. Don't forget
Actually-
that one.
Fringe of Forces.
Nope. Well, that's the thing. It's funny because the other day I actually got a comment on my profile.
Oh.
No, actually, no. It was on the project itself, referring to the Wimmish creature, but they accidentally called them Wimmers.
No!
I was
We
like,
did
I see.
Wimmer.
So it's like Captain Falcon in Super Smash Brothers, where people sort of forget that it actually came from
It's only
something,
natural, man.
and it's just from Super Smash Brothers.
So good.
Someone called Wimmish Wimmers.
Yeah.
Okay, this episode is already... This is already the best episode.
This is already really good. Like every episode that starts off with like a really good where our motto is.
Yeah.
And
You mean all of them?
Yeah?
true.
Yes,
True.
yeah.
But this one was especially good because
Yeah, it segues into our main topic, which is Scratch mods,
well,
like extensions,
I don't,
hack
at this
clients.
point I don't know what to call them, right? And I guess every word I don't know enough about them, which is maybe we should have
Yeah.
we should have made some research beforehand. But I don't know what what's the difference between a Scratch mod, a Scratch hack, a Scratch extension. I guess
I don't know.
No, wait. Let me try to explain what it is. I think
Yeah.
Scratch extensions you put on top of the normal Scratch. Scratch mods, completely different thing on completely different websites. That we are not telling you to join or go to.
Scratch.
We just kind of want to talk about them. 'Cause-
.mit.edu is the one true
Letting you know they're out
Scratch.
Yeah.
Glory be to Scratch team from Scratch. I love Scratch.
Paying your
Hi
dues,
guys,
I
I'm
take it.
KTrav258.
Please do not report me.
I was gonna say, I feel like you don't want to semi-sarcastically rub up to the Scratch team and then immediately state your Scratch username.
Yes.
And if you'd like to ban me, my username is.
Who here hasn't used forkforus.github at some point?
I don't think it's anybody.
Well,
Exactly.
Fork4us is the Optifine of Scratch. If you want to improve your Scratch experience, you use Fork4us.
I am
Except for
amazed
animations.
at that.
It ruins
That is the
animations.
best analogy.
Yeah.
That is so good. The Optifine of Scratch that's perfect because it only does good most of the time. Sometimes they even added cloud stuff. It's
Really?
perfect.
They
now.
added cloud stuff to
we can
Fork4us.
move on. It's Scratch 4.0 at this point. We
Dang.
have
all right, it's time to take myself down a peg and ask a little bit about Fork4us because I've played Scratch projects that have been embedded into it, but I don't think I've ever actively used it, I suppose.
good because I was just about to give you a history
I
lesson
feel
on
like
these
it's
things.
just a faster Scratch client.
Yeah, but
Is it for creating projects or just for hosting
Just for
them?
playing.
well, let me
It's just
hold
for
on,
playing
hold
them.
on, hold on.
All right.
Let me explain. So somebody made a Scratch mod which just converted Scratch projects into JavaScript, I believe,
Think so.
and made them run faster that way.
Yeah.
Some things here and there were always odd, like pen projects or the the speech bubbles were never the same. But you can imagine it as like just a website where you put in a project link, and it would convert it and just play it on there as like a standalone thing where it just runs faster. So you could. That's what I used when I was working on Monster World. There we go again.
Yep, Monster
But
World.
the game on Scratch was actually way too slow. That was back in the 2.0 days. The game ran extremely slow on Scratch, but on Phosphorus
Watch
back then,
the comments.
it was
Be
really
like,
good.
Nick, it's laggy. Nick is Apfellord, by the way. I can use his name because we're cool like that.
and I had to like put a disclaimer at the start of my project, which said like if you're using this on Scratch, like play this on Scratch at your own risk.
Please
basically.
use
It's not
Phosphorus
optimized for
plus. Please use
while
Phosphorus
I was working on this game, I was testing it in Phosphorus basically. That was because I know this game was too big for Scratch, so I had to find another way. And then Scratch 3.0 rolled around the corner,
Made
breaking
things faster.
a bunch of stuff on Scratch, but also kind of making it run faster. So it was viable on Scratch again.
Yeah.
But then you had the other problems that
You had to fix Monster
Scratch
World.
3 had. Yeah, you had the other problems, and it was still like not as fast as the next thing that came, which was Forkfurus.
Yep.
So there was also Sulfurus, which was like
Sulfurus.aat,
another mod
that's a
off
thing.
of us. Yeah, Sulfurus was like a mod from off of a fork. Haha.
Yeah.
Of
Phosphorus. I
Phosphorus?
think it went Phosphorus, then Sulfurus, then
Yes.
Phosphorus++, then
Yes.
Forkfurus.
Those were the ones.
Yeah.
Those were the ones I knew about. I didn't know that this was just another one, like another iteration of that.
Yeah.
I guess it's just people, seeing how they could improve it, but not like actively, or not actively working with the team that worked on Sulfurus, for example, and just making their own branch off of it, and hosting it on GitHub or whatever. But then Forkfurus was the big one because that was the first one that actually supported 3.0 projects and could convert those. But the problems were you didn't have cloud variables on there. You didn't have the color blocks were different.
I think there was a specific rendering difference that made me not want to use it.
Yes, but I don't know. There were still certain cases where I'd rather like test it or use that for Monster World or whatever, and it has its positive aspects. But now we've arrived in September 2020
in a new era. If Forkfurus is the Optifine of Scratch, Turbo Warp is a hacked client.
is the shader.
Yeah, you can just do right shift.
Yep.
It's set to 60 frames a second. It's a compiler, which means that it doesn't have to load in real time.
Turbo Warp is like the thing that I think is like the definitive version of all those like little mods that they led up to. Because what you have with
it's like
Turbo Warp,
it's like the meme with the different generations of avatars looking up to Aang and Aang's Turbo Warp.
It's still like a condensed, nicely packed, faster version of Scratch because it's still JavaScript.
Do we all here know what the difference is between an interpreter and a compiler?
Absolutely not. Please tell me
Okay.
about it.
Please you tell.
So in computer science, an interpreter takes each line of code and loads it while the code runs, which means that it has to take processing power to do that. However, a compiler, like Turbo Warp, translates every line at once into assembly and then runs all of it, which means that all the processing power is being put into running the project rather than interpreting it.
Dude,
Nice.
the programming major over here is so good.
See, I knew I have a specific skill set.
It's called CS.
That was very well explained.
Yeah.
I
It really was.
understand.
Yeah.
So that's why they run faster. Right?
Yeah.
Much faster.
I guess there might be a slightly less loading time, but I don't know. Wait, no, slightly slower loading time, but I don't know.
Right, because it sort of front loads all of that extra processing.
I guess Scratch also does that to a certain extent, but I guess it's also just loading like all the sprites, all the things. You also have to load that first. That makes sense. But Turbo Warp puts that on another level. Like, not only does it do that, it also has cloud support, which Forkfurus I guess now also does, but they Turbo Warp just
Turbo Warp.
It looks much nicer. The website looks really nice. It
It's
looks
red.
almost like Scratch. It's you can edit the project, which you weren't able to before.
You can edit
on
it
the
in
website.
Turbo Warp.
You can go 60 FPS.
You can
Scratch project.
alt-click the green flag and go into 60 FPS mode. Did anyone ask for that?
Know...
No, but we needed it.
Dang, wow.
We needed it so bad.
Did you guys ever play like a little like download a ROM hack or something of a Pokemon game or something on? Oh no.
No, because
Now, I've got
I'm
a
a
question.
law-abiding citizen.
Rule-following citizen. I love following rules.
Well, you know what? Good point. Let me rephrase that.
You ever just download?
You
ever just play a Pokemon game on your Game Boy?
Have you ever made a ROM yourself and haven't distributed
It
it?
happens to perfectly resemble the Pokemon Emerald.
Exactly, and turned on like super fast mode or something for that,
No.
and
yeah.
just like watch as it goes on like silly amounts of FPS. That's basically
Yes.
how that feels.
You know what Turbo Warp implements into Scratch?
Oh,
Griff Patch DevTools.
Oh,
Does it?
really?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I think.
nice.
that is amazing.
So now
or
you
does
don't-
Griff Patch's DevTools automatically see? Oh, this is Scratch almost. Let's
No, I think. I think
don't mind if
Turbo
I do.
Warp, I think
does.
Turbo Warp just implements Griff Patch DevTools, which is
That is
a
amazing.
really helpful extension.
We're not
Lots
going to
of-
tell you where
yeah.
you can get it. I mean, we literally can't, but it's nice.
It's
It's basically
made by
to
Griff
explain
Patch,
it.
the good man.
Wow.
Do you wanna explain what it does for the good people out there? Maybe Kieran.
Griff
Or do you-
Patch DevTools. There's a bunch of search features. I think it cleans up the cleanup feature.
You can find costumes. That's really good.
That's good.
You can move them easier. This is a godsend for me
Yeah.
for people working on big
This
games
is an
or
absolute
just like stuff in
godsend.
general. You can find certain blocks, certain variables. You can even like pick a variable and replace every variable in this sprite with another one. So if you if you change
Oh,
something,
that's very nice.
Yeah.
there's like Griff Patch is I trust him so much with this
Yeah.
because he comes from like a place of experience. He has worked on
He actually
like
programs
huge games.
Programs.
Yeah, and I know that he like has felt the same or the same pain. Has had the same problems.
All
that we
Scratchers know is
all
pain.
had. Like where you just like wanna replace a variable or you wanna
Yeah.
find a certain script and they took away the define feature, so
if you
can
accidentally
no longer...
press the share button, Griff Patch DevTools asks you, "Are you sure you want to send
Yes!
this?" Yes, that's the
Yes!
best part. That's the best part.
It is the simplest thing, but it is so nice. I'm just so happy that people are putting the time and work in to make Scratch a better place,
Yeah,
a better program to use. Also, one guy who has put a lot of work into something that I don't think enough people know about yet. Scratch
Tell
user
us,
Pull
Nick.
Josh. Scratch
Pull
user
Josh.
Pull Josh has been around for so long and has been like such a big he has taken part in the in the forums a lot, like a lot.
yeah.
And you see him all over the place. He has made great projects. He's a cool dude.
He's a Scratch.
He has made
he's
a
a
program.
household name on Scratch.
Yeah, and he has made a program that not only converts Scratch into JavaScript, like by or compiles it into JavaScript, like making it run faster, but it also like turns the whole project into code you can look at and change in real time.
You can write
Like,
JS and convert it to Scratch.
Yeah, I'm not talking like scripts here or blocks or something. I'm talking like actual code. So if you want to like get into JavaScript or I guess JavaScript is the
Yeah, that's the main thing.
the big one here. This is like such a nice tool. He has also made like a little documentation about it where he says, okay, this block is written like this here. So if you want to try to go for the same thing, that if you want to achieve this, you would now do this thing here. And there's like great new opportunities this opens up. There's new like more efficient ways to code things. My favorite example of this is where if you made like a counting script, right, where you just have to like maybe go through everything in a list and like check for something.
Yeah.
What you had to do in Scratch is make like a new variable that would then count up with every time you check, so it goes up by 1 and you check the next thing and so on. This is like very inside baseball, but I hope you can follow.
Off Scratch, we have for loops for that.
Exactly. And you can just you can set a variable that only exists for that moment and just like counts up, and then it's gone again. So it doesn't take up any more space
Vanilla
than it has
Scratch
to.
really doesn't have local variables. How did we let this happen? I guess
like,
you can have...
They have different local variables.
You can have local variables in customs, but you can't have them in for loops.
Yeah. And those don't work like the exact same way. So it's a nice thing. And it also, like, for people who want to get into JavaScript or something, like some actual like coding, that is an amazing tool. So I can only vouch for that.
Turbo Warp, good thing you can use.
Yep.
Leopard, also a good thing you can use if you want to learn JS.
Yep. And Griffpatch has made some good stuff.
Thank you, Griffpatch.
Check out his account if you haven't.
Griffpatch is underrated.
Sure, let's leave that in.
Yeah.
People won't get angry at that at all.
Well, you see, it's because I'm right.
Oh, Deerite, by the way, aka Jocers. I'm sorry, I still call you were Deerite when you joined this podcast on the very first
now
episode.
your main account's Jocers.
Which, I mean,
actually, that's fine.
What made you make the change, like in account and
just
name?
Like,
I never
the name, making a name, that was an accident. But changing the account is that everybody just that more people knew me as Jocers than Deerite.
Oh,
it's like
sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And as you join other Scratch servers, it's just like, hey, I'm Deerite. They just think I'm some random. But when I'm actually
and then you switch.
Yeah,
to
and it's you're Jocers.
Like,
interesting.
Everyone's like,
gasp.
The prophecy.
A scratcher.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I changed over to Jocers.
One big thing, I guess. Like, when was the last time you joined us here for the SRCast? It was like 5 episodes ago. More. Had to be the one.
Let me check actually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Quite some time.
It's been a while. And since then, you have made animation after animation after animation, and you're a big boy in Scratch now. It's like
you did it.
You've surpassed us by many followers. How's that rivalry going with
Zoinks?
Zoinks. How's he doing?
It hurts because
because
like I'm so far ahead, and he's at 300 right now.
Zoinks, step up your game.
He's gotta get this. He's gotta get a big project out.
Okay. But you are working on something big.
Somewhat.
That's true.
It's mainly just like different other projects. Like I have a map part. I have something else I'm doing for a fighting game thing I'm doing for somebody else. I'm also doing the 1K special, and two other another thing is an art dump, because I've just been doing a lot of art that nobody on Scratch has seen yet. And another
we might have seen it.
Viewers haven't.
And you've I really hope you post like the early ones too, because you have made such a big you've improved so much from like that first drawing you posted here.
I really did.
Back in the day. It's always nice to see how much people learned in a
you
short
mean
time.
like even the ones that did it like all the way back?
No, like let's say a year ago. Maybe.
A year ago.
If I remember correctly.
You've improved so much.
I probably should.
Yeah.
Just doing mental math of like, can I afford to be that annoyed with
I don't know.
I post?
You decide what you put on there in the end, but there's some great improvements that were made there, and it's always nice to see that. Mm-hmm. It also shows other people that you can I actually pick up art now. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm. And also I'm doing this for the sake of animation as well, because I'm trying to actually I really want to animate humans badly.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to get a handle of form and how to actually rotate the head and how to get hair, which I finally got.
Oh, yeah.
Like I actually finally solidified Joseph's hair, unlike what I did in Joseph's OC thingy.
But I agree that like pretty much each character you make, you need to separately like figure out over quite a long time. Like, okay, like this is exactly how the physicality of all their features works.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yes.
But Jocers was the
Yeah.
hardest just because that hair's like it wasn't at the time of making
it's
it.
very.
I didn't have a grasp on what hair actually was.
Is hair
Yeah,
even real?
no,
very
I know what you
it's very Cloud Mixora
Mm-hmm.
in a good way, but it is tough to animate.
That was.
But now, do you have a better grasp of it?
Yes, I do.
How would
Yeah.
you,
That's
and
good.
what is the best way to tell somebody who's starting out now?
Think of it as locks. Just think of it as locks of hair. Like I thought of Jocers as just triangles coming out of his hair. That's and also if you're trying to do more wavy hair or like longer or something like that, then you could think of it like a ribbon.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
Also, like, you know, then when the character, like when the animation moves, like when he moves his head, for example, to the right, this is like very trivial, I guess, if I say it like this, but then, you know, the hair is not immediately at that spot where the head is right now. It's like kind of pulling with it, so it's not as fast as the hair. It's like
Well, it's the secondary motion of the animation.
yes.
The primary motion happens, and then the secondary motion like trails behind, and then like follows through, and all that,
and
like
stuff
the
like
kind of
that.
animation stuff.
Yeah.
And that just gets more complex the more like complex the actual, you know, movement of the character becomes, but you can work yourself up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. Have you been or let me ask this differently. Hold on.
My first thought was, were you gonna ask, have you been keeping track on Scratch and like the SRCast? Have you seen what's been going on?
I've been seeing
yes.
what's been going on generally.
Been lurking.
Nice.
Yes, lurking and
Lurk
stuff.
more. It's never enough.
just like Quiet has been lurking
Yeah.
a little.
I was gonna say that, like, you know, one big thing that's been happening lately is that we've had a lot of more big names on here, and I feel like I'm not as well equipped to talk about it because usually I've bowed out for those to give more room for them.
No,
Oh,
no.
no.
I mean, they have been. No, so like this is a good thing to talk about. It's just my perspective is more an outsider's one, is similar to the rest of the viewers.
I guess so.
Oh yeah, this is what it's been like seeing all these new guests rather than like chatting with them.
Fun fact, this is also the reason why we're doing an episode like this, because we actually have some really, really, really cool guests coming up in the next episodes too. But we also kind of just want to come back to, you know, the classic setup we have in the SRCast, where we don't like necessarily have to like talk or interview someone all the time.
It's not really big names all the time. Viewer, you know?
front page, reporting.
go.
All right.
Uh,
all that good stuff. Yeah.
no, this episode we're just chilling.
We're just vibing basically. It's let me put some lo-fi hip hop on and
Let's
you know,
let's open up the chill playlist.
relax and study.
Any
friends.
gifters?
Relax and study. Actually, this may be the thumbnail I'm gonna do for this one. Just the lo-fi
Lo-fi relax and studies
image. Yes, in ScratchRunning version.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody needs to listen to Dance Contemplate by
Rusting Robot. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
What is it?
Yes, I remember that.
Dance Contemplate. I think it's on his alt paste.
Yeah, it's a lo-fi remix of the Dance Celebrate default song in Scratch.
In Scratch. So you know how Scratch has
I like
the
the Scratch
default
default
songs.
library.
And then Robot made a lo-fi version of one of those.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Is it
And he
good?
even made like
It was surprisingly good.
yeah. It's the one that goes like, hey.
Wait, it's it's like a 4-bar loop with a random at the end of each loop.
That's good.
So really, the remix is definitely a case of doing a lot with a little.
Yes, I'd agree. I'd agree with that.
Thank you. Yes.
So the multi-talent Robot was back at it again, and even put like some small ScratchRunning references in there.
In the background.
Yeah. So everybody listen to that. I may even like play it right now for just a second. And here we are back again. See, this is cool because I can edit.
And now
I
back
can
to
edit
your
now.
regularly scheduled podcast.
So Oh man, we have been talking for almost 40 minutes.
Pog.
35. I do not know if we'll be able to talk about the other big topic we had on here. Maybe this isn't even that big of a topic. I just kind of wanted to mention it in case anybody else was wondering, because I think some people are, which is, what scratch running has like the definition of scratch running and what this podcast even is about has changed a lot.
I've definitely felt the change. Sometimes I say that I accidentally joined the Scratch animation community because we had the animators, all the big animators, viewers, let's go, followers, yeah.
And then we were like, we kind of ended up in this place where we keep interviewing like important scratcher after important scratcher, but that's just because they're all friends of
they're all friends
I kind
of
like
each other, need I mention.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. It would be weird if we had like people on the podcast who are like, who's this dude?
Who's this guy? Like, if you're all friends with each other, that makes for better content.
Yes,
that's what it's about.
But it means that they're sort of a separate entity together than Scratch.
I feel like
is as its own
TNT
thing.
and Fuzzy are friends, Scratch Saga Trio are friends, and then we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, we're slowly drawing the bridge. It's not the easiest thing to do. We're like slowly drawing the bridge to those people, but we're building the bridge.
I guess.
But it is a different thing, and like every SRCast feels different if it's
if it's different, if it's a whole set of different guests.
Swapping out the roster each time.
It's not a bad thing necessarily all the time, but I sometimes really want to go back to like the basics and
so here we are.
Here we are, yes. And one other big thing is like the whole talking about competitive browser gaming. For me, when we say competitive browser gaming, it's like you could maybe take out the competitive part all the time, because we're gamers, right? We're all
gamers,
certified gamers. Everything we play, we kind of like, I at least have the mindset, okay, how is there a way to like make a meta out of this?
Can we
right?
optimize it?
I mean, Fringe of Forces was the perfect example.
Even on Golf Blitz, I think, how can I do this the coolest way possible?
Yeah. So browser games, Scratch has a lot of those. For me, Scratch is a place for browser games. Yeah. And so when we say browser games, we not only mean like stuff on websites I may not be allowed to mention, but we also mean the stuff on Scratch. So
I think sometimes I think of it the other way around, to where it's not just Scratch games, but also we might mention games on those other sites, like Electric Man 2, that one beat 'em up that I loved playing.
Yep.
Like
anybody
Red
remember
Ball.
Boxhead?
Remember what?
Which one?
Boxhead? No?
Y'all remember
Boxhead?
Red Ball?
I think I do.
Red Ball.
Does anybody remember N Ball?
N-Ball? No.
Oh man, okay. I'm like digging up some stuff here.
Raft Wars 1 and 2?
Wasn't there one that was just called N? That I know.
Yo.
Unfortunately. It's a super, super tight platformer where you are like jumping around a level full of many
spikes,
missiles and spikes.
Oh yeah, okay, classic.
Yeah.
So Super Meat Boy-ish.
Yeah, so there's N, and then there is N+.
Yo.
Sounds like a programming language.
N+.
Then you have N++.
We get an N++.
But it was just a very like satisfyingly difficult game. And it was really it existed a long time ago in internet time.
Yep. Yeah. I guess the satisfaction then comes from like when the game is super difficult and you still somehow manage to beat it. That's like automatic way to make the game more satisfying.
Right.
Although the difficulty has to come from like still a fair place sometimes. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
It's gotta actually be challenging.
Well, that's the thing about N and N+, and actually I'm remembering N++ also exists.
Wow. Got him.
Is that it's an extremely consistent. It's like Splunky. It's an extremely consistent game. When you fail on the game's terms, and you fail for a very obvious reason.
Good.
It's because you haven't mastered it yet.
It's like Celeste. There is no randomness in Celeste. If you lose, you lost.
Try again, friend.
I mean, if you really want to try again.
Or you don't want if you don't want to use Luigi.
If you don't want to use the Luigi guide.
Yeah. So that's like, we also talk about browser games that are we still sometimes do, but there's only so many browser games you can mention without it becoming like repetitive. I remember somebody
and also,
saying...
there's only so long you can talk about them,
Yeah.
unless you're like talking shop, in which case
Yep.
you can talk about it much longer, but fewer people will be able to track with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that. ScratchRunning has evolved over time into maybe something else than what we intended at the start, but I'm still along for the ride.
I do
I'm
still
happy
kind
to
of
be here.
want to make video content for the channel, because
Oh,
I have
yes.
noticed it has been a while since we just made a video together.
Yep.
Do you want to record some
Maybe we should
videos
get
next
onto
week?
That sounds amazing. But
let's
the
do it.
problem is editing.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
if you have time to edit,
I might
brilliant.
have time. Like, I feel
but
like we could do some more unedited things, like the Skywire video. Like, now that we actually know how to create long form content and like how to talk better, we could probably make something out of that. We could play a game together.
That's also a thing I noticed. You know, when
if you
with
compare
the first episode,
if you compare like Skywire video to the newer Krunker videos that I've edited, that I had edited before I just fell off Krunker.
Oof.
You hate to see
good
it.
browser game though.
Yeah,
Just
that's a good web game.
Well, we're on the topic.
And I would say just your like I would agree with you, Kieran, that the editing I saw in the videos just kept getting better and better, and I do really enjoy watching those from time to time when they come out.
So maybe, Kieran, what do you think? Is it time for some?
It's time for some poll results from the other episodes. If you don't know about the ScratchRunning polls, you can click in the top left to switch over to the poll view. We're probably going to have another question. Previously on the ScratchRunning podcast, we asked, how long do you feel like staying on Scratch? 11% of you said you'd be inactive, but you might hover around. 20% of you are planning to leave soon, and said not much longer. 21% of you said that they would never leave Scratch. Bold claim. And 48% of us, 48% of the viewers said they'd stay for a while and then leave when they feel like it, when they feel it's right.
Well, those are people that are most likely going to come back.
Yeah. I'd also argue that the people who say I'll never leave will also definitely make at least 2 projects where they say, sorry guys.
Sorry guys, see ya. See y'all. I'm just logging out for the day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Where they just make like a project. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a project. Guys, I'm leaving. And then if you click on the project, it's for today. Good night.
Bye-bye. You can check out anytime you like. But you can never leave.
It's Hotel California, guys.
Yeah, welcome. Except it's like the East Coast version in Boston, MA. Yeah.
Such a lovely
place. Such a lovely place. On episode 16. Such a lovely
meow.
On episode 16 of the ScratchRunning podcast, we asked our lovely viewers, what's your opinion on Scratch's social features?
Right, we had that discussion there, yeah.
Of course, we asked our viewers, but 12% of them said, I don't use Scratch socially. 27% said, less focus on followers and loves, please. 29% said, it's fine as is. And 33% of ScratchRunning podcast fans said, please add more social features.
Now the question is, how many of those people, what's our target audience here? Because we obviously only ask the people that are on that watch the ScratchRunning podcast, right? Or listen to it.
Sort of what quadrant of that are they more a part of?
Yes. I feel like our target audience is smart people.
Hopefully.
People who know more about the nuances of Scratch and play more browser games, watch more animations, but people who just kind of left click and press the heart button.
I guess you do need a bit more of an attention span to listen to 1 hour of podcast, compared to I don't know, Fortnite Nerf battle.
Yeah, You just kind of press buttons. Fortnite Nerf battle is just our pinata.
Looking at a thumbnail and saying,
yes, that's exactly it.
Fortnite Nerf battle mobile friendly game is just our pinata. If we're feeling mad at Scratch at any point, we just kind of beat up Fortnite Nerf battle. But to be fair,
terribly sorry to the creator.
Yes,
I hope you at least understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
As we repeatedly clock you over the head with a 2x4.
Kind of deserves.
Oh. I want to talk about something real quick, if you don't mind. I think we'll have to ask Gordon Heaven if he hasn't like if he has said anything about this on his own account yet.
Right.
But there's this thing he's making, which is extremely close to Fringe of Forces, and I'm super looking forward to it.
It's looking very, very good.
Yes.
I'm very biased because of how many similarities it bears to Fringe of Forces, but also because it's not like there's no basis of one on the other. It's just that they're both trying something very similar, and like
absolutely
they focus on a lot of fun aspects of games.
Yeah. Which so like to give the people a quick rundown. Turn-based strategy, PvP, online cloud. Yes, I said it.
Yo.
Tile-based is the word too.
Yeah.
Where you have different creatures, they can do different stuff. They can interact. They can move so much. They can attack with that. They can do the thing. The best player wins. Strategy. It's good.
Looking at Run Heaven's profile, it's called Monster Melee, and it's estimated to be released in 1 to 2 months. Which is
1 to 2 months. It's going to be out just in time for the holiday season.
Yo.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Merry Christmas,
please.
Scratchers.
Oh man, it's already September.
Just
do you remember?
a friendly reminder to my viewers at home that it is September.
Dude, October episode soon. I'm so looking forward to
that. Dude. Halloween, am I right?
I cannot wait to tell and listen to more spooky stories. That's gonna be like a mainstay on our podcast now. Is like the spooky, but hopefully not too spooky for Scratch.
Hopefully not too spooky.
Stories.
Modestly spooky stories.
Modestly
I feel like
spoopy.
I feel like I've run rather short of spooky stories. I don't have a lot of them.
I don't either, but I can always. I mean, the good part is
I can always lie.
You can just lie.
What do you think I did last time?
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
The Great Ghoul
I still have it on
still has fans.
No, the cool thing is we get more and more people on Scratch Running as time goes on.
Yeah.
More people that maybe have cool, scary stories to share.
Yeah. It's a time-honored tradition.
And our Joker is always Shellbridge.
Yeah.
Like that's the ace we have.
That's the wild card.
Any story this man tells is
immediate
gold, I feel.
immediate 5 out of 5.
It doesn't even have to be.
Also,
he
seems to live in a place that just naturally produces these sorts of stories on like a regular basis.
So there's these like swampy woods behind in my backyard.
Shale bridge.
Have you listened to that, Deering? Have you listened to that one? Have you listened to the last? Well, no, it was.
I don't think I actually have
It was
listened. I
a
don't
few
think I've
back.
actually listened to that one.
Dude, if you haven't,
the episode "Getting Away with It" has a very interesting story from his town.
if you haven't yet listened to episode 16 of the SRCast, segment 1 to like 39, completely fine. Great podcast. Loved it. But then after segment 40, it just transforms into something I would have never imagined.
Wait, what?
It just
It just becomes a different podcast.
Isn't that at the end?
kind of. We had like 60 minutes basically.
It was
Oh,
a long
jeez.
podcast.
It was a long podcast. I guess we like, and now previously we didn't do this, but now we kind of always aim for about an hour, and it's become increasingly hard to edit out stuff just because like compared to episode 1 at least, where I had to actively pick out good stuff. Now I have to actively pick out like, I have to search much longer for stuff to be cut out. Yes, which is good. I'm very happy about that. But listen to episode 16 of this podcast. If you don't want to listen to the hour of it, just like jump in at segment 39.
Yeah.
Let ride the wave. Just
That's a good
like
feature.
sit back in your chair, get some, I don't know, like some hot chocolate.
Sit back, relax, grab a glass of water, grab a spooky story,
And be spooked.
and watch this podcast unfold.
Yeah. Shout out to Shellbridge, man.
Yeah, shout out to Shale
Shout out to
Bridge.
Toaster.
Toaster.
I forgot that he was on the podcast like 3 times already.
Yeah.
Really?
What do you mean?
Like last
How
time
could you forget?
I'm the editor. I cannot forget. No, I always thought it was only twice. When the first time he joined us in episode 12, I believe.
Yeah, that was good.
and
He did
then
the thumbnail.
16, but he also was in Pasta Debate, which is like one of the best.
Yeah.
Lost in the Sauce, which is one of the best.
He was
debates
in
we
the
ever had
pasta
on this
debate.
one. Yeah, that's also something you can just
Dude.
not get with new people joining the podcast. You have to to get a good debate going.
Yeah.
You have to have people
You have
you
to
can
all know each other.
if you haven't
Yeah.
yet, go listen.
There are some good SRCast episodes.
Yeah. I'm happy. We're like building a collection of these like moments now that people. I still need to. All right, I still need to start that contest of like people animating.
We should actually make an announcement. Have like a start and end date for that, maybe.
Yeah, but I need time for that, and
we don't all have time.
It's gonna happen sometime soon.
Soon. Right. What else did we have? We had the Q&A box. Do we want to do that next, or it's a project on my profile? You can ask the Scratch Runners questions through my comment section. We have picked out a few. Our first question is from Luminarian, who has asked us, "Why have you stayed on Scratch?"
So basically, why are we part of the 40% that say like I'm gonna stay here for a while, but maybe actually quite you had something to tell us, didn't you?
Because, well, first of all, my answer to the question is because I had unfinished business.
My reason personally is because it's funny.
Yep.
Because it's fun.
Always.
Not only fun, but also funny.
Yeah.
As heck sometimes.
There is a difference between those words. Isn't that messed up?
No, it's, I think...
yeah.
It's just English.
It's just English for you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, back to what you brought up, I think it was because there were projects I was working on that were big and were started on Scratch, and I hoped to finish them on Scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's a much... Jocers, if you have anything similar to that.
I definitely do. It's the one project I'm working to get to. The anime opening.
Nice.
Because I promised that over a year ago, and I tried it once, but I didn't like the first attempt, so I'm going to try it again after I get to the required skill level.
Nice.
I see.
Yep. I feel for that. That's the entire reason for my update project was because I had way too many things where I said, "Hey, I'm working on this right now. It's coming along," and then at some point. I just said, "Hey, I'm working on this different thing. It's coming along."
At that point, you just...
Eventually, I just thought...
But hold on, I changed my mind. There's a new thing now.
At that point, you just work on this thing to tell people that you are working on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And if you look at the project, you'll find that for a lot of them, the current answer is...
Maybe.
Well, not anymore.
Yes.
A lot of them... will be happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so I'll probably post the project here, and that's why I'm staying, and also because I have ties to things like this.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'll be doing my work elsewhere.
So congrats, Quite. Your update project is now an SRCast mentioned project. We'll put it in the folder ASAP.
Oops, sorry.
Would have been great if it was in the last one, because that one got a bit more exposure. Shout out to Astro Wazo and Zevo for joining us there.
Thank you.
And also Fuzzy Weasel for making the amazing animation that got us front page.
That got front page.
And reported, but that's a different thing.
Oh well.
That wasn't his fault.
So apparently Scratchers just love animations, huh?
They look. I mean, yeah.
They can just kind of watch them. It takes even less attention span than playing a Scratch game.
Well, I mean, they're immediately impressive. You can immediately appreciate everything that went into it, as opposed to
having to be good at video games.
Or even just, I don't know. I feel as though I've made a handful of games that took plenty of effort, but may or may not actually be fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, just some of them went well, and then others I thought, well,
yeah, that's true. Frigid Forces, for example, lots of work, lots of fun.
Lots of fun. 5 out of 5.
I don't know how long did it take you to make Tunes again?
Tunes was one of the quicker ones, but that's still like a year.
Okay. Dang. But like on and off, right?
Yeah, a whole year of intermittent.
Yeah.
Like not always working on it, only coming back to it now and again.
Okay, good.
As we all do. All right. I think we don't have more time for, more Q&A. So, now I'm throwing you into the cold water here, Karen. Go segue.
So, remember when I said we had a different announcement to make? The next episode of the ScratchRunning Podcast is coming this month.
Really?
It's a McDouble, baby.
It's a double
whammy.
I've never heard of
double
before.
SRCast release.
1-2 punch.
And
it's not just the same one twice.
Give him the... Imagine if we'd done that. Give him the old 1-2. Episode...
You will not only hear this podcast once, you will hear it twice. And you will like it.
You will like it twice. Episode 19 of the ScratchRunning Podcast is coming soon. We think.
What is this fly in my room? What is happening?
We'll let flies on this podcast, but not you.
At least this time it happened during the end, so I can still, activate. All right. I didn't know Germany had these kinds of animals.
You didn't think flies existed? Yeah.
Weird flies.
Yeah, we'll let flies on this podcast, but you know who else we'll let on this podcast?
Ooh.
Clabs from Goomblegurt.
Goomblegurt.
Clabs is going to share some information on a sequel to Goomblegurt that he's working on.
Yeah, he's been teasing it for a while. He's been like showing. I mean, I'm saying teasing. He like showed the whole roster of Goombles.
Yeah.
If you
haven't heard of it before, this will be a good way to.
Yeah, Goomblegurt is kind of like Funkymon, but not.
Which is kind of like Pokemon.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a bigger one. I think.
There's a
bigger.
Sorry. I didn't realize we were avoiding the brand.
Look, I get it. You're tired of Funkymon. You're gonna need some Goomblegurts. There's also some other guest, but I don't know if we are gonna announce that yet.
I do want to.
They might be a Scratcher. I don't know.
Can I?
Yeah.
I mean, he's no longer a Scratcher because his account got literally deleted.
His account got mysteriously vanished. It's like all trace of their projects disappeared.
Except for the spoofs. I'm obviously talking about, and this one was already teased a little in the last the teaser for
S2 on the
yes the S2 on the tombstone at the end of the teaser for 17.
The S doesn't stand for Splatoon, it stands for Swifty.
It also doesn't stand for Season 2. I don't know why people were thinking we're going to Season 2 of the SRCast. What are we gonna do? Like,
how are we gonna? How is?
I don't get it.
What did people actually comment that under the trailer?
Yes. I don't mean to I mean no disrespect. I just wonder like what were they thinking was what was a Season 2 of the SRCast?
Like? Why would it be in a gravestone?
That is pretty right. That is pretty common like shortening for that. But you're right. There's so little distinction between what would be our seasons and what would make things different. Although, I mean, I guess if they thought that the guest appearances was some big thing that was going to keep ramping up,
yes.
I guess there was some sort of huge, climax moment that we could have reached.
The climax will be Griff Patch, but that's practically the ending of the series.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where are we going to go from here, boys?
Season 2 is a single episode where we interview Griff Patch and then we end.
Hey guys, Season 2 of the SRCast is just Griff Patch is the main host. We're done. I don't.
Where we go from the top is even higher. We start pillaring up to height limit and just go back to doing our own thing again.
Here's
like
my
this
plan.
one. This episode 18 of the ScratchRunning Podcast is a cultural reset.
Yes. My plan is after interviewing Griff Patch, knowing what he does and how he does it, becoming more followed than Griff Patch, and then interviewing myself because I am now the most followed person on Scratch. It checks out.
It's true.
So you're hoping for like a perfect energy creation machine, but with cloud instead.
Of course, yes, yeah, that's
So perpetual motion, but followers.
Whatever you say. Yeah. It sounds good. I think that's definitely gonna happen, and isn't a
pipe dream
crazy at all? Isn't a pipe dream at all? But where how do we derail like this?
Where do we go now?
Another guest on the podcast on the SRCast 19 is the number. Is gonna be a good friend of Clabs, and a good friend of Scratch back in the day, Swifty 2. Swifty 2. The legend. Kieran does not know him.
That could have been the username.
I don't know if you know him. I don't know quite if you know him, I sure know him.
Swifty2 is an urban legend. His Scratch account never happened.
With 1.4, with Astro, he was a 1.4 legend, and
my only experience with him is voice chat with Nick, so he is Nick's voice actor friend to me. However, he also animates, and presumably was a Scratcher. I can't be sure.
What? He's like, this is going to be the top...
I'll believe it when I see it.
The theme now is just going to be... So, if you were on Scratch, what would you have done, Swifty? if that thing ever happened.
So Swifty2, if that is your name.
Yes.
Swifty2. Is that even
like
a
that
real
meme.
Scratch account?
I mean, Swifty could tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
In the next episode of the ScratchRunning Podcast.
Until then, I'm happy you listened to this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Couldn't
put
agree
all
more.
the things we talked about in the notes and credits. I'm pointing to the right. I don't know why
We
I
are
do it.
peaking.
It's like
Why do you-
shelled now.
You're
At least I'm
pointing.
not pointing at a school.
At least you're not pointing at the nearby school.
So we're gonna put all the stuff in the notes and credits, so you can check it out. The people we
Yeah.
talked about, the projects we talk about. Leave some Q&A questions. No, wait, just leave some questions. Don't leave answers. Also, take part in the polls.
Yep.
In the
And
top left
give
of this
us a
project.
little feedback in the comments.
Give us little feedback.
Yeah.
Share this if you want with
If
your
you want
friends
to, with
and
your
family.
friends and family, because this is a
Um,
family-friendly podcast. You can
yes.
do that.
Also,
Families.
if you're hearing this right now, emote SR Wimmers.
Yeah.
Like as
So
much
that
as
we
you
know
can.
how many people actually make it to the end of
That's
these
yeah,
things.
that's what I want
It's
to know.
true.
That's like my that's the idea behind it,
Yeah.
honestly. Or if you're just listening to this on YouTube, cool.
Cool.
I can no longer talk about the other things, but here we
If
are,
you're
guys.
if you're listening to this on the Y Word, we win these.
Mom,
Thank
pick
you
me up,
all
I'm
for
scared.
69 subscribers.
Right.
Nice.
Also, almost 1,000 or 900, I think, soon on Scratch. We may even get to 1,000.
We might get the
A
thou.
thou. A
Might get the
thou.
big thou.
Fabled sound.
Yeah.
Thank you all for following.
Thank you
are
all for following
you.
us on Scratch.
I just combined R and all. Jarl.
Y'all.
Thank Jarl.
Thank y'all.
for following. You are amazing.
And remember. Wait, hold on. Let me find this comment.
Please.
Remember, you can help save endangered monkeys like me by becoming a zoologist when you grow up.
Please do. Right. Shout out to Astro, who named himself Orangutan
His
Zoologist
nickname is Orangutan Zoologist.
in our community program of choice. Okay, Karen, I think
Yeah.
it is time.
Okay, it's time to do the
Talk
little
about this.
end card. Let's all go
We're talking
over
weird stuff again.
who we even are in the first place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let's start from the top.
yeah.
The guy who's back
Hi,
with 2C.
yo, back.
I think I'm Jocers.
Nice.
Am I Jocers?
I'm
Please confirm.
You are Jocers.
Hi.
Yeah,
Highly-
you're Jocers now.
Okay.
highly likely to be HmYesQuite.
Hi guys, I'm Kieran. When I'm not streaming, I play Scratch games.
When I'm not Kieran. My name is Apfellord. I make projects on Scratch. Sometimes I make this podcast.
Yeah, he's the editor.
I would like to upload something very soon. I think that sounds like a good idea, but time is a problem. But maybe this may be the time to do this. If you by any chance want to play a little arcadey, fun, jump and run, I guess, game, head over to my second account, which is Apfel Stuff, where you can play a little game I made as a birthday gift for somebody. If you're starved for Apfellord content, I don't know if any of you are out there, but if you are,
There's
that's a little
someone.
game.
There are probably people in like the Monster World comment section. When's the new character? Nick?
Character.
Character.
Where's my character? Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely also still working on Monster World. It's going swell, but
It's going
time's
well.
work is a thing.
It's going kind
Look
of
forward to it.
poggers.
Let's end this episode right here. We have talked about things.
We have talked about things. By golly, have we talked about things. This has been a good episode. So, thank you all for listening to the ScratchRunning Podcast. I've been Kieran, KTrav258 removed. We've been the Scratch Runners, and the recording has now stopped.